Hey, what's up, y'all? This funny man, Stephan Caddell, and I graduated from Central Visual Performing Arts, aka VAP, in the north side of St. Louis in the year of 1991, class of 91, it is. This video right here is pretty much closure on my end, on why I almost did not come to the 20-year class reunion. Um, well, the thing was that growing up, my experiences in the Lou, living back on the north side, the majority of them was pretty bad. It was pretty much bad experiences for me. And even though I was a cool kid, I was definitely a cool kid, but at the same time, I was a trouble kid, because I was, hey, out on the streets, hustling and banging and stuff like that, but I still went to school though. And at the same time, I was practically on my own when I was 14 years old. So, it was like, hey, I just had to do what I had to do to survive within myself and survive, my abuse that I done went through. And so I remember not all, but certain people, they used to always just nag in my ear saying, you gonna be dead before you 21 and all that. Don't get me wrong, you had a few of them that did care, but then there was others, they pretty much just nagged it to me just to belittle me and all that. But what broke the camel's back on that when in the in graduation of 1991, I remember this one security guard, female security guard on top of that. She broke out and told me that I was going straight to hell. And I fired right back and told her that you gonna go to hell way before I do because hell, that Jerry curl gonna catch on fire and you gonna look like Michael Jackson off that Pepsi commercial back in the day. Yeah, I fired back on her like that. And so, from that point, I didn't even think about, going to, any class reunions or anything like that, even though it was certain classmates I bumped into after high school that I definitely, had, conversations with, spoke to, and definitely enjoyed the conversation with them. And, I did go to Forest Park Community College afterwards, after high school, but man, Forest Park Community College, it was like an animal house, a ghetto version of Animal House. That was my experience. So, I went on and, hey, I was getting, job was getting slow and things like that. I needed money, so I ended up back out on the street hustling and banging at that time. That was back in them early and mid 90s. 5 years flew past. I knew I had to get my shit together. And so I left up out of St. Louis in December of 99. I say about 2 days after Christmas. And mainly the reason why I had to leave the Lou, man, because I know if I would have stayed back in St. Louis, I would have either been dead, locked up, in and out of mental institutions, or all of the above. Or, so, like I said, my experiences there was, most of them was pretty bad. And so, let's just say they predicted me to be dead in my early 20s, all this mess. And I was one of the ones that was like that. So then when I went down to Memphis in 2000, of course I brung in the whole new millennium. I brung in 2000, starting my life all over again, getting myself together mentally, spiritually, and all of that. Ever since I left St. Louis, went to Memphis College of Art, in which that's a 4-year art college. Anybody that knows my artwork and how I used to get down, hey, I had to go to an art college. I got my degree in sculpture and graphic arts in May of 2004. That's when I graduated. Right after 2 weeks after I graduated in the same month of May, I just went straight out to California and hey, I've been out on the West Coast ever since. Anybody that really knows me, they know that California is my second home. South Central LA is practically my second home. So as years went past, in 2010, I finally got on Facebook in late 2010, and it was other classmates that found me and things like that. So the class of 91, a couple of people asked me, you know, you want to come to the class reunion? And at first I was like, nah, you know, because of the flashes and all that back then. And they was like, you know, I think you should come, you know. And plus, you know, at that time, I was also, yeah, at that time, I was also thinking like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But then my homegirl and her husband broke out and told me, Steph, just go ahead and go to the reunion, you know, because nobody ain't seen me in so long. They didn't even know if I was dead, locked up, nothing, because I stayed gone for so long. Keep in mind, in the 10-year reunion, I was already down in Memphis in 2001. I ain't know nothing about the reunion at that time, and I didn't even care, you know, because of all them flashes. But you know what? When I went to the reunion, the 20-year reunion in July of 2011, I went, and you know what? I had a good time. I got some closure up out of it. It felt good seeing everybody. You know what I'm saying? And some people, they was glad to see me. They glad to see I'm alive. And life is too short, because they was looking for everybody, because it was certain people that died off that who everybody least expected. But I was one of the ones that people thought that I was supposed to be dead by the time I'm in my early 20s. Guess what? I'm 45 years old. I'm kicking 45 in the ass, you dig what I'm saying? Thank God. And I'm out here in the West Coast doing a lot of things with my artwork, my stand-up comedy, my poetry, and my acting. And you know what? Whenever I do come back to the Lou to visit, any Vapsters out there, if y'all throwing something, hey, let me know just so I could show up. You know what I'm saying? So one thing about it, one thing it also taught me is, you know what, life too short. You know, so if anybody got any patching up to do, go ahead and, you know, patch that shit up. You dig what I'm saying? Go ahead, you know. As long as you're sincere with the apologies. You gotta be sincere with that shit. You know, no fake motherfuckers allowed. But anyway, yeah, man. You know, I'm just happy to be here, and you know, it felt good seeing everybody. And hey, you know, that's my confession right there. That's everything. So you know, feel free to inbox me anytime and all that good shit. Check me out on YouTube if you check out my shows and all that. And hey, I'll pretty much hit you right back. And you know what? Y'all be safe, and I'll holler right back at you.